for our discussion, we chose the movie The Peanut Butter Falcon. The movie, basically, the plot starts off with Zach, who is the main character who has Down syndrome, and he's currently living in a nursing home that is run by the state. It basically starts off with him escaping. It's really funny, but he like slides himself through like metal bars on his window, and he ends up meeting another main character, Tyler, and the two of them travel to Florida after meeting each other randomly, and they try to go to Zach's like main goal in life, which is to see the saltwater rednecks fighting camp.
Wrestlers.
Yes, he's a wrestler. So that is their goal of the entire movie, and it basically documents their journey and a lot of life lessons that Zach learns along the way, and also that Tyler learns along the way.
Yeah, something I want to add is like where he was living before, like it was a retirement home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was the only person there that was not like elderly.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was living with his roommate was like 80 years old or something, and his roommate also helped him escape.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all of the people who were living at the nursing home were like in it on him, like living his own life. They hated that he was there as well.
That old lady like tried to help him escape the first time by choking.
Yeah.
And like he wasn't supposed to be there was like a big thing.
Yes.
Like, due to like
But there was nowhere else
probably
he
lack
could go
of
because
space
there
and
were
funding and
there wasn't community resources that
Yeah.
allowed him to live in the community, so he was sent to a nursing home. So one of the questions that I'd like to talk about is the role that Zach plays in the movie. To me personally, I think he kind of has multiple roles. He is like a sidekick to Tyler, but then he's also kind of a main character in the fact that he is the hero at the end of the story. So it's interesting to see how he fills multiple roles and how we get to see like multiple different sides of him throughout the movie, whether that be like him cursing or him escaping. Like he doesn't just fit one mold or stereotype. Which is
It's interesting because it's like Tyler and Zach are both kind of like main characters, and Zach does a really good job throughout the movie of like Tyler does a great job throughout the movie of teaching Zach how to live his life on his own, because he has no family and no friends, and he's just been living in this retirement home. And then he stumbled upon his character Tyler, who's kind of in a sticky situation himself, and they kind of just work together, and Tyler teaches Zach about life, like some lessons he's never been able to.
And I think what's cool about that is it's like, you can go.
No, I was sure all of them. No, it was just cool to watch how Tyler treats Zach like such an equal person when everyone, like his whole life, that scene when they're on the boat, they were talking about how like people call him like the R word, and then so his caretaker shows up and she's like tracking him down, this girl that works at the retirement
Her
home.
name's Eleanor.
You know, trying to find him.
And she kept saying like, you can't do that, you can't do this, and he was saying like, you're basically calling her the R word because like everyone has called him that his whole life. And she was like, I never said that. But he was saying by telling him that you can't do this and that, it's like the same thing. So,
it shows how like the stereotype of her always pitying him and always doing things for him like rubbed off on Zach himself, and then he started to doubt his own abilities. So I think it just really shows the importance that how we treat people with disabilities affects how they think of themselves. And I think Tyler does a really good job of like basically communicating to Zach for the first time that he can do this and he doesn't have to be limited with his abilities. He just needed the opportunity and the accommodations and the extra help to get there. So obviously Tyler has such an impact on Zach's life, but I think Zach has just an impact on Tyler's life. And through their friendship, and it really brought Tyler out of a dark place that he was in. So it just shows that it's a mutual relationship and a friendship that formed naturally and not through like a buddy system, which is, I feel like a lot of times how like friendships with a person with disability can be portrayed.
Totally. And it kind of goes back to what we talked about in class, where it's like, if you keep telling someone they can't do that, they're not going to do it, because even if they are able to do it, if all you're being told is no, 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 and you keep living like that, eventually it's going to turn into reality. So it's cool to see that Tyler encouraged him. Oh, I like this line in the movie where it was like, Zach just met Tyler and he was like, I have Down syndrome, and Tyler was like, I don't really give a shit, like just
Exactly.
keep, like, I don't really care. He encouraged him like to swim, to be on his own, to like learn new things. And when the caretaker finally found them and tried to get Zach to come home, Tyler was like, no, like he can do this and he can
He's
do that
living
now,
life,
like he's
yeah.
actually learning. So that
For
was
sure.
cool.
I think a part that goes with that is when Tyler and Zach were sitting around the campfire and Zach was telling Tyler about how he feels like he's the bad guy, and that's because his family abandoned him and he was being spoken all of these things his entire life. And so he started to believe that and started to make that his identity. But when Tyler was showing him like that's not the reality, he was able to come out of that and become something much better.
Become a hero.
For
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Or like when they were in the barn, do y'all remember that before, like right before he went out for the fight, Zach was saying that he was scared and stuff, and like Tyler came over and was like, you can do it, like
Yeah.
say it over and over.
Yeah.
And it was just cool to see, like he just treated him like everybody else.
For
Actually
sure.
nice, motivated.
I
And
think
he threw that guy like 10 feet.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the biggest themes in the movie to me, is that just how Tyler treated Zach throughout it. I think a lot of people could learn from.
Totally.
Whereas, like, yes, it's great to be kind to a person with disability or Down syndrome, but to treat them as equal is so much more valuable. And I think that's what Tyler did in the movie, which a lot of people can learn from.
Yeah, no, you did a great job. Is there another pretty relevant question we could talk about?
What did y'all think about how the film addressed stereotypes of Down syndrome?
I think, like when Tyler was like, he just treated him as if he was exactly like if he was like typically functioning. He just treated him like he was like, well, like you're coming with me, don't slow me down. Like we're doing this, and this, and he just acted as if, you know, he kind of beat the stereotype by just treating him typically.
For sure.
There were some like accurate stereotypes, like the beginning of the movie, or like even when we talk about that, what was her name, the caretaker that was trying
Eleanor.
She really like was, how do I word this? She treated him like the stereotype basically.
Yeah, like
And
the
then-
pitying.
Yeah, and then Tyler was the one to treat him like a person. And then throughout the movie, when Eleanor met up with them both, originally she was like, Zach, let's go home. Zach, come on. And then Tyler was actually able to teach her like how to actually treat him and how they can like kind of become a family.
For
And
sure.
then at the end of the movie, like Eleanor gets a call from her boss and she's like, yeah, I finally found him, like we're all good. And then the boss is like, well, we're gonna send him away to like, do you remember what it was?
Oh
They
yeah.
were like,
It's
we're
like
gonna
for troubled people.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna
It was
send him-
where like drug addicts.
yeah, it was,
Yeah.
they're like, we're gonna send him away to blah blah.
Because he was
Eleanor's
a flight
like,
risk.
he doesn't need to go there. Like that's only for drug addicts and something bad. And Eleanor started to realize like maybe these government institutions don't
Aren't
have,
helping.
yeah, they don't have the best intentions.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And then she switched up and she was like, all right, let's go live a life in Florida. Like I'm not taking you back there. And they kind of
For
became
sure.
a family, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what you were saying too kind of corresponds to the different models of disability that we learned about. Like Eleanor really reflects like the charity model, which is like, I have to help you, like you can't help yourself, and like treating them as a charity case, where Tyler just treated him as a person. And yes, his disability is a part of him, but it's not like the only
It doesn't
thing
define
of-
them.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
for sure. But all in all, I think the movie is really great, and I think a lot of people can learn good lessons about disability, about it, and how to treat other people with disabilities. Do y'all have any last things to add?
I mean, nothing really. I just thought it was a good movie.
Definitely recommend the
Yeah, it was
movie.
funny
It's very
too.
good.
Like I enjoyed it. It wasn't like a school
Yeah,
movie.
like I would watch it again for sure.
For sure.
Maybe.
Well, thank you so much for listening.
Bye.